Pisces, Pisces rising. How you doing, Pisces? This is your reading for the Leo full moon that's happening on the 12th of February 2025. Ishala maduela, dishani moduela, ina, dishana moduela. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and as you heard and as you can see, I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body, both in the form of physical and vocal light language. All of this is going to happen throughout the reading to bring in healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that want to come through. So, a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the reading. Up until the end of the 12th of February, all private readings are 50% off. The code is Luna50. I've put it in the description box that you apply at checkout through my website. If you want to pay by PayPal, email me directly and we'll sort it out. And this is in celebration of the Lunar New Year that kickstarted on the Aquarius new moon. Second bit of housekeeping that isn't related to this transit is I have set up a second YouTube channel. It's called Quantum Vibe Tarot. They are shorter videos. They are more transmissions, more bigger activations, readings. And this is where I'm on camera. I'm channeling a lot more. I'm using lots of different decks very quickly to bring in the frequency of the activation and then bring that energy into us all. I've just done the Pisces North Node activation to help us connect to the most integrated and expansive intention of that transit. So go check it out. It's linked in the description box and also onto this channel. At some point I'll get round to connecting it round the other way as well. Right, Pisces. So I read for the rising signs. So for those of you who do not have Pisces in the first house, look to the house it does fall in. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes along with all the other meaning you've got going on in Pisces to the messages that want to come through, because it will be as if that Pisces energy, wherever it falls in your natal chart, has now energetically moved to the first house. So when I talk about the astrology for the rising sign, it will always still link in. You've just got to add on your own natal chart meaning on top of it. For example, I have Pisces over in the 8th house, and the only thing I've got in Pisces traditionally is the part of fortune, which is an astrological point. So I'd apply the meanings of the 8th as well as the meaning of the part of fortune to what comes through in this reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So my lovely Pisces, how you doing with that North Node in your sign? I am here for this transit. If you've not caught the Pisces Virgo transit series, I do thoroughly recommend that. It's very powerful energy with us at the moment. And it's one of the most enjoyable transits I've ever done, and I really missed not doing that transit. So Pisces rising, where do you have this Leo full moon? Well, it's over in your 6th house, the adult in the room, work, how you work, physical health, routines, co-workers, and therefore collaboration, pets, and therefore acts of service. So you've got a big full moon here, an element of completion. Let me just talk about what I'm doing. I'm doing a different way of shuffling the deck. Usually I shuffle for jumpers, but at the moment with this transit, whoa, and there the cards are like spilled all over the floor. I'm trying to do something different in order sort of to cultivate a deeper understanding that source, your intuition, your higher self can come through in many different forms. So I'm going to be shuffling this deck while I'm talking about the astrology for you, my loves. And then at the end of that, I'm going to cut the deck 3 times and we're going to get cards from those 3 different piles. So, you know, I'm just mentioning why I'm doing it, because I feel like it's quite an important thing to do at the moment, to learn to trust any form of expression, any form of connection, anything that you're doing, that it isn't divinely aligned. I'm going to be predominantly focusing on the houses that this is showing up in. I've done a collective reading where I've broken down the astrology of the exact moment of this full moon in way more detail, and I really get into the weeds and pulled collective tarot for each of the different themes that are showing up for that full moon, with the planets, with the celestial bodies. And that all forms a harmonic blueprint, right? A code that we then work with over the 6 months up until the Leo new moon. So even though this full moon marks an element of completion, with that completion of a particular stage of where we're at, we then get a code, a download code, that we then work with over the next 6 months. So pile 1 is going to be 2 cards. And the first card is going to be the shadow energy that we've been working with, that is closing out, is completing with the full moon. And the second card in that pile is going to be what's the integrated frequency that is completed, right? That's then imprinted into you, that's like solid. What's closing out in that regard. Pile 2 is going to be 1 card, and that's going to be what's the download that's coming in after this completion energy. And pile 3 is going to be a card on how to work with it. We'll also get the card at the bottom of the deck representing the root energy of pile 2, the download, as well as 2 oracle cards from 2 different decks at the end of the reading. So full moon in the 6th, right? We can struggle being the adult in the room, right? Often for various reasons. When we've been growing up, we haven't necessarily had the role models. We then recreate neglect. We can struggle with work. We can struggle with taking care of our physical health and working well with other people. Now, I think the 6th house is incredibly important in terms of the more you understand the way that you work, right? The more you're able to process that and figure, okay, well, that works for me. The more you're then able to communicate that to other people, and then therefore have healthier exchange working relationships, right? And work, it can be in the working environment as well as just with generally everybody, right? The more that you understand how you work, the more you can show up and explain that and then have healthier dynamics. So full moon in the 6th, a real elevation and an understanding of the way that you work, right? A real sense of, okay, right, I really feel like what you've been doing over the last 6 months is coming together to some in some degree, right? So you've been, prioritizing your physical health, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's all come together, right? I really feel good about that. I've been able to implement that that habit into a daily routine. I can see things closing out in regards to blocks around the way that you work, blocks in being able to enjoy. I've just got the King of Swords and the 7 of Cups in like the pre-shuffle, and the King of Swords is Aquarius, which is over in your 12th house, right? I'm going to bring those themes in now because that's relevant to the 7 of Cups. Is I'll come back to that. I'm going to remember that. I really don't want to go all around the houses. So that 6th house of like really letting go of blocks around being the adult in the room for yourself, being able to work, being able to take care of yourself, right? That's one of the things that can get closed out with a full moon in this sign, as well as just this heightened intuition and understanding. You've been putting in the practice of figuring these things out, and that's come to a level of completion, and then you're activating a new cycle. Healthier understandings and intuitive guidance towards working well with other people that nourishes you and nourishes your own needs. So you may get co-workers really acknowledging the work that you've done. If you've been wanting to get a pet, around a full moon is definitely a time to do that. You may feel inclined in that way. But let's go over, so really like a power up of your heart, being able to nurture and nourish yourself and be the adult in the room and finding the joy in it, right? Finding the love in it. Now the sun is over in your 12th house. And that is it's a difficult house, but it's very powerful. So this is the hidden realms, the unconscious spaces. And this is in those unconscious spaces, things going on behind the scenes, right? It can be our trauma responses, our limiting beliefs, and our distorted love languages, right? And this is why the 12th house is often linked into anxiety, depression, loss, grief, all of that good stuff. Now, you've had a lot of transits going through your 12th at the moment. So you've really been having this focal point on on sort of more of the mental health things of working through those difficult energies, right? The sun moving through there, Mercury's there. I love it when they're there because the sun shines a light on all of this, and Mercury helps you understand this area more when it's transiting there. Obviously, Venus was there a while back. We had a new moon there, so that was really amplifying a deeper connection to, because underneath all of that is the magic of your soul, right? And that is the cosmic joke of source. And this is why you see in a lot of spiritual and book religion traditions of, to get back to source is to do the inner work, right? As within, so without. And so, as I said, the magic of your soul. Remember, we've got the King of Swords and the Seven of Cups. And that feels like a real union of the magic of your soul, feeling very in command of those unconscious spaces, feeling clear and having that clarity and understanding one of the wounds and, you know, getting some higher perspective with that, as well as bringing up that magic, right? You've got Pluto there. That's a wild transit. I did a Pluto in Aquarius transit a little while back. You might want to go check that out. But with that Seven of Cups, that's the magic, right? All the possibilities that you're now bringing into the way that you work. So one, a deep healing around sort of some unconscious wounds around being the adult in the room. Yeah, my root chakra is shaking. Wiggling even. I'm really coming to a heightened level of clarity, right, around all of that. That's helping you be able to see yourself at a higher level, that then allows that heart to really open in your incarnation, right, of sort of stepping up to it when we have a deeper, higher, zoomed out perspective around those difficult energies in the 12th, that allows the magic to come through. You know, wounds around working well with others, wounds around taking care of yourself, you know, all of those things of not being able to observe the way that you work, right? All of that really feels like it's bubbling to the surface. Now, what else is going on? So, Juno is over in Scorpio. I've pulled cards for all these different houses. So all 4 of the fixed signs are being activated with this transit. It's forming a grand fixed cross, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. But essentially, this is a very powerful portal. Now, Juno's over in Scorpio in your 9th house of perspectives, right? How you map yourself out in the world, right? Your connection to book, religion, source, nature, your morals, your ethics, your philosophies, those matrices that are bigger than you, that you're trying to figure out, what do they mean to you, right? What are your matrices? What matrix are you creating? Juno represents commitment. Right, you'll ride or die. It's just like you're in it, and it's not you, like it's just facts that you're committed to this. So you've been going through a cycle of letting go of old perspectives, right? You know, letting go of the death grip around a certain perspectives, and really coming into a deeper understanding and a commitment to the truth of your perspectives, right? Scorpio, 10 of Cups, as I say that, a deeper connection to the real truth and not the conditioning from the outside world, the and Juno is squaring the sun and the moon, and so it's bringing in this big power energy of how you then feed that into your moon. How do you feed that into your intuition, your emotional body? How do you take care of yourself? How do you nourish yourself? Juno's making sure that those perspectives that can distort how we do that are no longer hanging around. They just put the deck midway between the third eye and the crown chakra. Now at the heart. So a deeper knowing, right, of how to show up for yourself. Uranus is over in Taurus. Uranus went direct just after the Aquarius new moon, and that is in your 3rd house, the house of the goddess, whereas the 9th, where Juno is the house of the gods, right? Those bigger picture ideas. Now the 3rd house is where we bring those big picture ideas into our day-to-day, how we find meaning in the day-to-day, the house of the goddess, right? The more that we find meaning in the little things, the more that reverberates into the bigger pictures. Ace of Pentacles, renewal of that meaning. It's about learning new things. Because it's linked into schools, siblings, short distance trips, your local community, the things you do on a day-to-day, and the lens in which you communicate through. Now, Uranus wants you to be independent, right? Wants you to be confident and comfortable being your unique self, right? And so that's been showing up in the third, and that's probably, you've seen an activation since it went direct of, you know, you being able to speak your truth a bit more. You being all right with, you know, having very sort of maverick ideas come out and being able to communicate them. Finding unique ways to you of how you find meaning in the day-to-day. Lots of bright ideas, very maverick, very galactic energy. Uranus, it is the inventor. It is bringing in those ideas, and you're getting those downloads, you're getting those communications that you're applying into how you find meaning, you're applying into how you connect your day-to-day, and that resonance. It is the great liberator. It's pulling away the shackles, right? And this is why this feels like a massive portal. King of Swords again. Grand fixed cross. All the fixed signs are being activated. So this can feel, and this is imprinted for the next 6 months, this can feel like we're being pulled in 4 different directions, right? So you've got work, being the adult in the room, how you find meaning and communicate in the day-to-day, right? Your bigger perspectives, as well as the retreat, the going behind the scenes, the internal world of the 12th, of the difficult energies that we talked about, as well as the magic of your soul. And so with all of this, I've been saying this to everybody, the trick with a cross, with a grand cross, whatever kind of, whether it's cardinal, mutable, or fixed, is if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling pulled in lots of different directions, right? Oh, the fear and the worry of applying your perspectives to the way that you work and putting that routine into your day-to-day and finding that meaning, just feeling like really like distorted and like a bit confused and a bit discombobulated. Page of Wands in reverse, as I say, discombobulated. I want you to center yourself, right? If you're feeling your nervous system getting really inflamed, right? Just do a little bit of breath work, a little bit of meditation, whatever it is that helps you calm your energy and clear and soften your energy with the intention of the awareness of being pulled in lots of different directions. And then when you soften, allow your instinct to come through, allow your intuition to come through that says, hey, let's go in this direction, right? In regards to those 4 houses, those 4 themes. And the more that you tap into that flow state, right, with those 4 houses, the more you sort of open yourself up to your higher self. Okay, what's the best thing for me to focus on? The more you do that, the more you'll just be in a natural intuitive flow with all of those 4 houses that then turns what feels like being pulled in lots of different directions, because we want to get to the center, we want to be neutral in the eye of the storm. And then you turn that grand fixed cross into a generator, a powerhouse. Fixed energy keeps on going, so it's going to have a real sense of magnitude of energy over the next 6 months in those 4 houses of you really being able to bring a lot of energy and a lot of power. Now, Saturn traditionally rules Aquarius, and that's significant because the sun rules Leo, and therefore the sun is influencing the moon. So Saturn is influencing the sun, therefore influencing the moon. And Saturn is in Pisces. So your embodiment of self, your sense of self, right? How you move through the world, how you understand yourself is influencing that 12th house energy. Right? And Saturn wants you to get real, get you mature. I love a Saturn in the 1st house, even though I appreciate it is a very difficult transit. But the level of authority and responsibility and integrity and commitment to your own legacy that comes through with a Saturn transit in the 1st is profound. You just have to bear in mind that it does bring up restrictions and limitations and a dampening of the energy in order for you to get right to kind of like your root steel. I mean, actually Saturn's ruled by lead, but that sense of that weighted energy that keeps you solid on this planet. So Saturn is influencing the sun, saying, hey, we want to get right with this magical reality we're creating within you, the sense of sovereignty of self. No more to the anxiety. I mean, obviously there's always still going to be lovely bits. And if they do come up, it's usually letting you know, hey, that used to be all the time, or hey, this is being released, right? So trust in every little thing, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly that shows up, because it is teaching you so much all the time. It's relentless. So Saturn's like, hey, right? We want to get to grips on that 12th house. We want to bring that magic out and be able to embody it. And that's going to really help facilitate your 3D reality of work, right? Your physical health with the other dimensions and bring that into a state of union. Now, Pisces, traditionally ruled by Jupiter. Where's Jupiter? Over in the sign of Gemini. In your 4th house, your roots and your foundations, your ancestors, both blood and soul lineage, parental figures, the roof over your head, and the things that you do in private. So, wounds with the ancestors and the parental figures, getting a greater sense of wisdom and abundance, feeling good about your root system, influencing, hey, let's get the embodiment of self in alignment, as I'm talking about Gemini, in alignment with you feeling strong and powerful, right? These strong foundational energy. Get the judgment card, the raising of the dead, the releasing of the wounds, the ascension process into the way that you embody yourself. So that grounded energy that's really going to facilitate any struggles you may be having in the 12th. That's then facilitating the fuller integration in the 3D form. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, Mercury's over in Aquarius. So we've got that feedback loop of let's bring the magic in. Right, okay, that's the astrology. There is way more. That's the astrology. And as I said, there's way more. But that's all over in the collective reading, so go check that out. Right, let's get into the tarot. So what is being released? Remember, this is the shadow side of it, right? This is the block that we're clearing out. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. This is perfect for a 6th house, right? So this card in the upright is mastery of self and collaboration. Right, we want those things in the 6th house. We want to be able to understand how we work and then draw towards us others and work together to create something beautiful and long lasting. So it's in the reverse, letting you know that the work that you've been doing around the block of co-creation, around the block of collaboration and working with others and understanding how you work and being able to put it into practice and genuinely create something from that, that is being cleared out. That is a spot on, perfect energy that's being released. What is being active? What integrated work? Oh, I forgot one of my lights. Not surprising with doing a Pisces reading when the sun is hidden in the 12th. So this is the integrated energy you've been working on that's now being embedded within you, right? This is completed, as in it's integrated into you. Ace of Wands, perfect for a Leo reading. Vibrant energy, passion, drive, motivation, transformation, virility, instincts. Your instincts, there's this fresh new energy, this, rather than this block, right? You're looking at things in a new way. You're engaging with things. You've got a renewal of how you show up to be the adult in the room. Pisces. Right, okay, so what's the download that's coming in with this full moon that you are then working with over the next 6 months? We have the Emperor, another fire sign. This is Aries. So with this, block around your understanding of your own mastery, and therefore at the next level, and therefore perhaps having resistance to working with others, or it just being a bit of a struggle because there isn't that confidence. And then we get this integration of confidence and this new spark of spirit come in, and then the Emperor shows up, right? This is the download you're working. The Emperor knows its own divinity, knows its own sovereignty. It is the King of Kings. It understands, it's had to go through certain journeys. It's had to experience things for itself in order to understand and cultivate wisdom. But it's not that it doesn't listen to other people, right? A poor emperor would be surrounded by yes men or yes people. You need to work on that one. Yes people. And that doesn't get anybody anywhere, right? Unless everyone's genuinely saying yes for genuinely good reasons. this figure understands and knows how to work with other people. But it also, and it's able to do that because it understands its deep inner wisdom and its understanding of its own experiences. So this is a great deal of confidence that's coming in for you in your sixth house of you know how you work. You've got Aries over in your second house of your skills and your tools and how you manifest and bring in regular income. So there's a real connection to that six of how you work, how you figure things out, and you being able to apply your skills and tools to that very directly. So this is unfolding over the next 6 months of one, you being in your power, you having an understanding of your own wisdom, your own divinity, that's the magic of your soul over in Aquarius, as well as the capacity to work with others without losing your sense of self. If we bring in the perspectives, the way that you communicate, being confident with your unique way of communicating, Juno, commitment to those perspectives, the Sun, Mercury, and Ceres over in Aquarius of like bringing that magic into the way that you work, that's all coming into place, right? You are working with that over the next 6 months. How to work with that energy. So we've got the Devil card. It was in reverse there, but it's wanting to kind of spin this card. So in reverse, this is the acknowledgement of letting go of old habits, letting go of certain ideas and perspectives that have kept you chained, right? That perhaps you've got this certain understanding of how you work and how you take care of yourself, and you think that's always going to be the case. This card showing up is really saying, no, there's a process here of acknowledging those things and realizing that you are getting into your power, right? And the Devil card typically, traditionally, is about a loss of power, right? It's also about being very chained to the material world, right? So there's something around here of letting go of any expectations of how the way that you work and the way that you work with other people is going to manifest in the 3D, right? That sense of productivity, right? The to-do list, right? That sense of this weight that we have of if we're not working every hour of every day, then we are not good enough, right? So there's some wounds there that really want, like, the more that you strip away the to-do list, the control, this huge expectation from the outside world to be a certain way, the more that you get back to how you work and how you understand things, your heart really needs to be in it, right? Your heart really needs to be in it. That the more you kind of get into this sense of what inspires you, what is your instinct telling you, the more you cultivate that practice, the more you're going to genuinely have more energy to do all the work that you perhaps, because of the to-do list, because of the expectations, there's been a clamp, there's been a restriction around it. And this card showing up is right, okay, we're going to do some processes, we're going to, however it's right for you and your intuition of your understanding of what this message is, you're going to work through this, right? Capricorn for you is in also your hopes and your dreams, your friends, groups and alliances, and reaping the benefits from your 10th house. So there may be a wound around, you've been putting in the work, but you perhaps haven't seen that manifest, right? The 10th house is your life path / career, right? You've not been getting that bonus or that project or the recognition that you feel because you put in all this work that you know, and it's letting go of that. It's letting go of the perhaps the frustration around how things are manifesting, and that is essentially going to give you more power, because when this card's in the upright for me, you know, before the horn god got taken over by the Christians and turned into the devil, it was a very powerful representation of yang manifestation in the 3D world, very sort of primal in its energy. So one, it's wanting you to let go of the wounds and the blocks and then step into your power. And if you see here, they've got the ram's horns here, which is Aries, of the power of your capacity to connect to how you build, but it's got to come from you and not the expectations from the outside world. And again, Leo being in the 6th, if you're not recognized, if you're not seen, that can be a real diminisher of your heart space, right? Leo Leo doesn't, it's ruled by the sun. It wants to be seen, and it externalizes that light when in fact it has the light within you. You've got a generator in your heart in the way that you work. Operate from your heart space, operate from your instincts, and not how you're being received or how it's manifesting. You keep doing you, and there's going to be some wounds that come up with this devil card that you're going to have such power to release during this, that allows you to not externalize this energy and keep it within you and allow that to act as a generator in the way that you work. Right, what's the root energy? Ituela. Two of Swords in reverse. So this has been showing up a fair amount. Ituela di shenima otoe. And the crowning energy is the Ten of Wands. So this is the Two of Swords in the upright. This figure has come to a new land. They've left their home. They are now going inward to figure out, okay, well, what's important to me? Who am I now? Where is my inner balance, right? With the wisdom of the past and the intention of the future. But it's in reverse. So the universe is letting you know you're already in the new frequency. You're not necessarily having to go inward and contemplate. There's something around, you got to trust your instincts and follow that rather than the overthinking. The King of Swords came out so much while I was shuffling. And that is the Aquarius energy, right? There's a real clarity that's coming in for you from that 12th house. That there may be some more magical stuff that you may have felt unsure before of, okay, well, how do I incorporate with this in the way that I work? This really feels like you're just got to trust the instinct and not get out of the worry mind of what you're taking action, and be very playful with it. Some things may not land straight away, but just enjoy the process of that curiosity of how your Aries, how that Aries energy, that Emperor energy, of how you work with your skills in a new way with the magic of your soul and putting it into practice with the 6th house. And really get playful with it. 10 of Wands in reverse is the crown energy, a releasing of the burden, the weight, the heaviness of work, physical health, routines, right? Enjoying the ride a bit more. That 10 of Wands has shown up for at least now, I think you're now the third. And this is the 5th reading that I've done in the all 12 signs. Right, so Oracle cards. We're going to get, I decided to use the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle by Carl Gray because of these 4 signs being activated, the 4 fixed signs. This feels like a huge portal. These Oracle cards, which I pulled before doing all of this transit, it'll be the last reading that I do in the transit. There's such a shift into the higher heart energy, right? Big high vibrational frequency, and it feels very powerful. Not scary, not like overwhelmed, but just like this clarity coming in. So we're going to get a card of what is this portal that you're stepping into that's being activated for you, my love. And we're also going to get some advice from Rainbow Brainskull. Right, so what's up for the portal? What portal have we got? Ooh, Dishanama. We have Shambhala initiations. Retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma. Shambhala, also known as Shangri-La, is a city of light said to be hidden somewhere in the Himalayas near Tibet. According to theosophical teachings, this etheric retreat is where we can come to contact with some of the greatest spiritual adepts, enlightened teachers, and divine masters to ever walk the earth. In Buddhism and Hinduism, Shambhala is said to be the home of the god Shiva and the Buddhas, enlightened beings. And in the Bon tradition, every year thousands make a pilgrimage to Mount Kailash, the supposed location of the hidden city, as this is said to bring good fortune. We can visit the etheric retreat of Shambhala during the dream state, astral travel, and meditation. This feels very 12th house energy, right? Of what's going on behind the scenes. It is often linked into dreams. There's unconscious spaces. If you feel it's calling to you, the golden temple of Shambhala sits at the heart of the Himalayas, between the physical and non-physical. 12th house, 6th house on the money, and is said to appear to seekers who are ready to expand their awareness. It is a sacred energetic temple of all enlightened masters, particularly those who are connected to Eastern traditions. They form the great galactic and universal council of elders who support the turning of the wheel of Dharma. Dharma is a Sanskrit word that relates to the unfolding of our life path. When things quieten down in your life, know that this isn't a failure, but an opportunity to retreat and recharge. In the busyness of the physical world, our spirit is often playing catch up with our body, to the point that it gets used to being overactive and overworked. When the great masters of Shambhala come to you, they are encouraging you to take your time, to be away from the outer world and dive into the inner world. If you have been moving full speed ahead, this gateway encourages you to slow down and retreat. I've talked about that productivity. Take time to gather your energy, spend time in meditation and reflection in order to gain a clearer awareness. Think of that. I swear that King of Swords came out about 3 times. So this is your 12th house, that sense of meditation in retreat, of connecting to your magic, connecting to these ascended masters who are going to give you a lot of support to facilitate that 6th house. Spend time in meditation and reflection in order to gain a clearer awareness of your current situation. You will uncover many insights and gifts during this period. Realize that there is a master awakening within. Ooh, so that is very much the sun still being in the 12th, right? Of this sense of the downloads, the vision, the purpose that we get when we've got a 12th house sun placement. I'm just thinking of those that I know who have sun natally in the 12th, and a lot of their insight, a lot of their magic comes from their dreams. So with this 2 of Swords in reverse, right, which is about going in and meditating, but it's in reverse. This feels that you're in the new realm, but the downloads you'll get by going into meditation are taking you to the next level, right? The newer realm, like that mastery, rather than you just figuring it out. There's a level of with that 3 of Pentacles in reverse, there's a level of activation of mastery already, and this is I just feel like this is going to be activating some DNA code within you that you're then going to have remember the instinct of following that instinct, that alignment, trusting in your instincts because of the downloads you're getting in the 12th, in how you put it all to practice. No decisions, just grooving. Stop making life harder than it actually is. You don't need to tell your heart to beat, it just does. And that's a more important job than anything your chattering mind does. Let go and dance to the rhythm of it all. Again, it's getting out of that sort of the overthinking. With that King of Swords, there's such clarity that you can then just immediately put that into practice and enjoy the ride of it. Your instincts are going to be very on point, Pisces. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. Oof, this was the longest one so far. If it did, hit that like button. Leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. It really does bring me so much joy to hear that this resonates. Pisces, be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Safe travels and be well until we meet again.